Hey readers, I hope you're doing well today. I'm back with another lesson in our mystery unit. We'll probably finish up this unit maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week, so we're kind of getting toward the end of it. I hope you're still reading your own mysteries that you were able to bring home with you, or maybe finding some on Epic if you've already finished the ones that are in your book bags. So today what I want to talk to you about is finding clues that are hidden. So have you ever, I will tell you this, I love mysteries. Mysteries are probably one of my favorite things to read. And so I like movies that are mysteries. I like to read mysteries. And so many times I get to the end of the story and I'm shocked. I'm like, I didn't see that coming. How in the world did that happen? How did I miss those clues and not know that that was going to happen? So do you ever have the same thing happen to you where you get to the end of a mystery and you're not sure maybe what clues you missed along the way? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how we can find some of those hidden clues. And so I want to teach you today that when you get to the solution of a mystery and it completely surprises you, that's the time to go back through your book and think about the clues that maybe you missed along the way, okay? And how that will help you is that if you read, the next time you read a mystery book or when you start a new mystery book, you may be able to be on the lookout for clues in a different way, different than when you read that book and maybe missed some. So think of a time when you read a story and the solution or the end of the story kind of caught you off guard. Things happened that you didn't expect. Okay, so think about that mystery and maybe think about going back through it and thinking about the clues that you missed. Okay, what did you not notice while you were reading? And what kind of clues maybe slipped past you? Okay. Finding clues is a huge part of solving a mystery. The clues in a book are going to be hidden, okay? That's how an author, a mystery author, makes the book fun, all right? If you are reading a story and the clues are obvious, it's not really going to be that exciting. And we've talked about that before. Think about if you play hide and seek, okay? The goal of hide and seek is to find a really good hiding place where no one can find you, okay? And that's the same thing that an author tries to do when they are writing, when they're a really good mystery author, okay? There's a famous mystery writer. Her name is Elizabeth Craig. And that's what she says. She said, as a writer, leave clues, but don't make them super obvious. Like, don't put a clue in a book and then have a big highlighter or, lights around it or, an arrow pointing, say, here's a clue, here's a clue. All right? Because you don't want to find out the mystery. If your book has like 10 or 12 chapters in it, you don't want to find the answer to the mystery, in chapter 4 or chapter 5, because then it wouldn't be any fun. Okay? So, one thing we've talked about already, one of our last lessons was on a red herring, all right? And so sometimes an author will put a red herring in a book, in a story, to distract you, okay? And maybe to throw you off track a little bit, all right? And so I have over here, let me see if I can turn it around. Let's see. Well, nope. This is my button. My turnaround button is gone. Well, I'm going to take a picture. My chart, it's going to read backwards. And for some reason, I don't have the button to turn it around. So it's going to look backwards to you, but I'll send you a picture of it. It says, how to find hidden clues, okay? And so I'll send you a picture of that and put it in the Google Doc, and then you can read it. But we're going to talk about each one of those. So one way to find a hidden clue is to remember that we have red herrings a lot of times in our stories to distract us. Okay, another technique that authors often use are they throw in a distraction. So if you've ever seen a magician, and while he or she is doing a trick, they'll kind of distract you to looking maybe at one hand while this hand over here is doing something kind of secretive. And so an author, a mystery author, will do the same thing. They'll kind of put in maybe a big action to distract you from a smaller action or a smaller clue that's going on over here, kind of like a magician does. Okay, so we would say if a big new action in our story happens, then a clue may have slipped past you. All right, something else an author might do is they might try to hide their clues, okay? And they, sometimes my kids, if they, let's say Emma had a milkshake and Ellis wanted a sip of it, he might say, "Hey, Emma, look out the door." And Emma turns and looks really quickly, and when she does, he grabs her milkshake and he takes a big sip out of it. Okay, he kind of distracts her so he can get some of her milkshake. Okay, have you ever done that to somebody or had somebody do that to you? So authors will kind of do the same thing. They hide clues where somebody might not notice them. Maybe they hide them in dialogue when people are talking to each other. They might hide a clue in a joke or even in a description of a character. Okay? And so those are all on my chart behind me. And like I said, I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you so you can review over it. Okay? But one thing we're going to do really quickly is we're going to practice rereading part of our absent author book. And we're going to see if we can find a clue from that story that we might have missed. Okay, so I'm going to turn to page 19. And this is the part where Dink first thinks that Wallace Wallace may have been kidnapped and that he's just left the book nook. So think about the clues, the hidden, ways to find hidden clues that I've given you guys. And think about in this part what we might have missed. Dink had noticed the woman earlier. She'd been sitting in the back of the book nook. "She's coming over here," Ruth Rose said. The woman had brown hair up in a neat bun, half glasses perched on her nose. She was wearing a brown dress and brown shoes and carried a book bag with a picture of a moose on the side. Around her neck, she wore a red scarf covered with tiny black letters. So, think about that part. Think about, are there any hidden clues in that part that I just read that we may have missed that Mavis was actually Wallace Wallace? Okay? And I want us to try again from a scene in chapter 4. So let me flip over to that page. Let's see. Whoops, I went too far. So this part, I'm going to read this part. "Excuse me, but would it be all right if I bought each of you a cone?" So this is where they went to the little diner and they were getting ice cream together. "Excuse me, but would it be all right if I bought each of you a cone?" Mavis Green asked. "I was going to buy lunch for Mr. Wallace anyway." "Gee, thanks," Josh said. "I'll have a scoop of mint chocolate chip and a scoop of pistachio." "Oh, you like green ice cream too," said Mavis. She smiled shyly. "I'll have the same one, please." "I like pink ice cream," Ruth Rose said. "I'll have a strawberry cone, please. 1 scoop." Okay? So think about that. Think about what details from those two scenes maybe had some missing clues, some clues in them that we may have missed in our reading. Okay. So what I'm thinking is the green ice cream. That was a clue because Wallace Wallace loved the color green. And then it also said that Mavis smiled shyly. Okay. And I think she did that because she was trying not to blow her cover. She was trying for them, to not let them figure out that she was Wallace Wallace. Okay. And then one other thing, think about her last name, Mavis Green. Okay. Green was his favorite color, or her favorite color. And so her cover name was Mavis Green. So that's another clue that maybe we just didn't even think would matter because it was just her name. Okay. So when we're talking about hidden clues, that's what we're talking about. Okay. So the last part on my chart that I'm going to talk about, this one down here, it says, think about how details may be connected to other details that you thought were unimportant. Okay, so those are things we easily zoomed past when we were reading this story, The Absent Author. Okay, so you have a couple of options today. Think about doing two things. You have a choice. You can go back and reread some parts of a mystery that you've read before and maybe look for some hidden clues that you missed. Or if you're starting a new mystery or whatever, wherever you are in your mystery right now, really think about and use some of these tips back here that we talked about. Really use some of those tips to help you find the hidden clues while you're reading. Okay, I hope you're enjoying your stories, and I'm looking forward to our Zoom session on Tuesday afternoon, and I can't wait to see all your sweet faces. Off you go.